Hello everybody, Michael here for Tactica Imperialis with another news and rumours video. Today we are talking about the highly likely possibility of a new Ork Codex. As I did with my 7th edition video, all the links I use for information will be down in the description, be it rumour threads, videos, or just general stuff that I think has helped me find out, and maybe you can find some more information there. And as with the 7th edition video, the thumbnail will be related, so this thumbnail will be an image we think will be the new Codex cover. It was leaked slightly earlier and then featured in a showcase of the new models in Games Workshop's latest teaser video. So we think this is going to be the new Codex cover, but we could be wrong. So what's already out, because I'm recording this probably 2 days before I put it up on the Wednesday, so this is Monday, and already out we have the Gorkanaut/Morkanaut kit. This is obviously a brand new vehicle that has never been seen before. It's a strength 8, front side 13, rear armour 12, 5 hull point walker with 4 strength 10 AP 1 concussive melee attacks. So it's not quite on the level of an Imperial Knight because it's not a super heavy, but it's a pretty powerful walker that has, well, it could give any walker a run for its money. I mean, short of a super heavy, I don't know quite how you kill this thing, apart from mass firepower. I mean, it's only armor 13, but 5 hull points is hard to stop. And the Gorkanaut has something called a Deathstorm Mega Shooter, which is 36 inch range, strength 6, AP 4, heavy 3d6. It also has Rampage and costs 245 points. The Morkanaut has a custom mega cannon, I think, which is 36 inch range, strength 8, AP 2, blast, gets hot, and this costs 230 points. They have the same stat line, but that's the only real difference. And for 20 points you can upgrade to have Grot Riggers on either vehicle, which gives it will not die. In the past, Grot Riggers allowed you to fix Immobilized, possibly Weapon Destroyed as well. Now it's it will not die, which is a lot better, but it's 20 points. In this case, it could be cheaper on smaller vehicles. And the Morkanaut can take a custom force field for 50 points. The custom force field has been changed. It used to be 6 inches 5+ cover. It's now 6 inches 5+ invulnerable. So now everything within 6 inches of this Morkanaut has a 5+ invulnerable save. And that's very, very useful. It's probably more fitting as well for a force field to give an invulnerable than a cover. Especially with all the ignores cover that's out there, it gives the Ork slogging hordes a chance. And it has a transport capacity of 6. And is very posable. The head looks twistable. The front doors, because it's basically its belly plate is a door. It's like double doors that just open out. Everything looks pretty posable, so I think you have a lot of fun with this kit. The Deathstorm Mega Shooter is mounted on this arm, the right arm. The custom Mega Cannon is mounted on the left. So if you're clever, you could give it 2 of its melee weapons, or give it both guns. Of course, this is no game purpose, but you can do that, and it will look pretty cool if you gave it 2 claws, I think. I haven't seen it done yet because not enough people have bought the kit. I'm not sure what cost of the kit is. I think it's about 80 quid. It's a similar height to an Imperial Knight, so I'm working off the Imperial Knight. So 70, 80 quid, I reckon, or something in that ballpark anyway. There's been a few rule rumours. These were mainly on the DACA thread. The Stomper is said to be included in the Codex as a Lord of War, so this will be the first time we've seen Lord of Wars included in Codices, which makes sense now that we're in 7th and Unbound, and Lord of Wars were basically in the regular Force Org. The War rule will become, instead of just being fleet, it will be the old fleet, so run and charge. That's still a rumour, we don't know. Choppers will give out +1 strength, which would work for me, but I prefer an AP value. And units of X+ models generate warp charge, and every separate melee generates warp charge. I'm not sure about this. I mean, it convinces Ork players that they should run large squads, because if you run large squads you get warp charge points for your Psychers, who generally will only be mastery level 1. You could possibly say the warp head would be level 2, and it encourages you to get into melee, because again you're generating psychic points, which might convince Ork armies to play in a different way. However, it could get a little bit annoying, because if you've got a load of units, you could easily break the psychic phase by just massive power, or by contrast, for a few turns of the game you're going to be very difficult to cast the power, particularly if you roll badly on that d6. Plus, it's just something we've never seen, and yes, it does say in the old fluff that Orks generate psychic energy, which weird boys sort of feed off. but I'm not sure. I'm not quite sure how this is going to work, especially with the fact that Weird Boys at the moment only have access to the 2 demonology laws. So, and everything on a double there is a peril, so I'm not convinced. I'd like to see it, I'd like to see how it would work, but I'm not massively convinced. Plus, how big a unit would you have to be? 15, 20? I mean, there's only so many units can go that big. And then this is stuff that's been leaked in the next White Dwarf, which is due to come out this Saturday. We think this is going to be in there. And it's been a page about flash kits. Flash kits are in for a new kit, and I think those models look really good. If flash kits weren't so expensive, apparently they're going to be like $53 for a 5-man box, I've heard. I'd be very convinced to buy these flash kits. They look really awesome. They are 22 points each and have a knob stat line, but without the 4+ save they used to have. So they've got the same stat line, but they've swapped a 4+ for a 6+. Units of 5 to 10, and the Snaz gun has received a buff. It used to be 24-inch range, strength 4, 5, APD6 one shot. It's now 24-inch range, strength 5, APD6, which you roll after you choose your target. So you can't just say, okay, I'm AP3, so I'm going to target the TAC Marines, but I'm now on the AP4, so I'm going to target the Scouts. You can't do that anymore. You can't do that. It's after you pick your target, but it's now Assault 3. So it's worthwhile because you'll get a lot of firepower out of them. The Git Finder has changed. It used to be pre-measure because that was something you weren't allowed to do in 4th, which then was allowed to do in 6th. So now, a Git Finder, if you stand still, you count as BS3, which is the first time an Ork has ever been Ballistic Skill 3. And I think this is a really welcome perk because it allows you to run a sort of gun line, but considering flash kits all have 3 attacks anyway, at strength 4, they'll still wreck on the charge. They also have Mob Rule, Fury's Charge, and a new rule called Here We Go, which I think, because WAR didn't come up, WAR wasn't a rule that was listed, so it's this Here We Go thing. And it says if all models in the unit have Here We Go, they can re-roll 1 dice when charging. So it's a bit like Fleet. So I think they have just rolled it into New Fleet. Am I mad keen about it? No, because re-rolling 1 dice when charging isn't going to help if you can't even get there in the first place, which is the problem that Orks have. They just get gunned down before they get close. It's a nice thing if you've got armies running at you and you need to get a charge off, or you're charging through terrain because of the -2 penalty is now having an extra roll on your D6 could be useful, but not sure. I'm not sure what to make of this rule. I think for some units it'll work, for others it won't. And then there have been a lot of new images of new kits. Now this is mainly in one image, which was the How to Paint the Gorkanaut Morkanaut. It was pictured in front of an Ork army, and in that Ork army were a lot of new models that we haven't seen before. New Meganobs. Meganobs have been in metal for ages now, and so a plastic kit seemed likely. We don't know if they have any options, but they look pretty similar. So I think they'll just be move them into plastic, possibly give them a couple more options. I think they'll be in boxes of 3, I would say. Doesn't look like there's an alternate kit. If there is, we haven't seen it. A new shock attack gun. This is good. The old shock attack gun, in metal at least, was a nightmare. I should know. I bought one. The Finecast one was okay, but I'm not hugely mad about the model. The rules were awesome, but it was iffy on the model. This new model looks very similar. However, the shock attack gun itself has been made to look more, well, cool, weird. There's a new Snotling, so he looks more realistic and sizable. And I just think it's a slight redesign, but I think it's okay. There's a new Mech Boy, which could be construed as a dock, but I think because of the spanner on his boss pole that he's actually a Mech Boy, with a cybernetic hand and something in his other hand, I've forgotten what it was. So I think these two will both be monopose plastic kits, although you could have some customizable options on this Mech Boy. And the other thing was the big guns. Big guns are mockeries of heavy weapon teams, and in the past they were awful. The models were old and outdated and they looked naff. Now they've got a total redesign. They've got a lot bigger, they've got a lot bulkier, they've got a lot more armoured. So they've got basically the front plate from a truck is basically in front of the gun, and apparently there are going to be 4 gun options instead of 3. So you had your lobby, your cannon, and your zap gun, which were your las cannon, your mortar, and your rocket launcher. Now there's 4 options. We don't know what they're going to be, but I expect it'll be those 3 plus maybe a rapid firing type thing, or maybe even a plasma type thing. I don't know. We'll see. And it's a total redesign, and I think it looks okay. It will be in the Daka Rumours thread, which I'm going to put in the description, as I said at the start of the video. And that's all we've got at the moment. I was hoping to leave this video a little bit later, but if I left it to my next release slot, that's the day it's out, and it sort of defeats the point. So this has come out now. There will probably be stuff released over Bell of Lost Souls or Daka or Naftka, Fate, whatever, will be released over the next few days. And make sure that if you have an interest, you can go and check out those threads and look at what's going on. Then you can confirm what I've said, or add to what I've said, or prove what I said is wrong. And we'll all find out on Saturday, when the next White Dwarf is released, how correct we really are. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to leave a like if you did. Leave any comments below. What do you make of these new releases, these new rules? Will it get you back into the Ork Codex? I know I'm considering it, although I now have 3 codices to buy: Orks, Astra Militarum, and my High Elves of Fantasy. So it might be an excuse to dust the Orks off, especially if I can play this guy again. So just let me know what you think, or head over to Twitter at Tactical Imperial. I posted on Twitter the rules for 40k Zombies, which we did a while ago. If you want to go and check them out, use the hashtag 40k Zombies to give me feedback with a capital Z. So yeah, check that out. So thank you for watching. My name is Michael, and I will see you again.